Can we get this wrecked ZX6R fired up for the very first time? It sounded promising. We bought this wrecked 2013 ZX6R as a non-runner. The tank was unusable, there was no key or a cluster. We don't know how much mileage it has and we can't even turn it on. But we needed to hear this bike run. So the first thing we did was hotwire the ignition. We've got power to the bike, we've got life. And after doing all of that, the question was, would it start? But no matter how many times we tried, the bike wouldn't start. We're throwing in artificial fuel, but we're not getting the bike to start because there's no spark. So now we have to figure out a way to get this bike running. Alrighty guys, so before we get into it, I want to give this bike a bit of a wipe down. This thing is very, very filthy and I just want to clean it up so it looks a little bit better. So I'm going to take off some of the plastics, specifically these ones. I think I'm going to leave out the tail section because I don't want this light dangling and stuff. So we're going to remove all of that, give this a nice wipe down, get it looking nice and clean, and then we can get into it. And just like that, we've got the bike looking a whole lot better, guys. It's looking much cleaner. Obviously, it's not the best because we didn't pressure wash or anything. That'll come later, guys. For now, we just wanted to get it looking neat so we can carry on with the rebuild. So there's a couple of things that we want to do before we can attempt to fire this thing up again. One of them being sorting out this cluster, but I'll get to that a little bit later. One thing that we want to do now is sort out this handlebar, guys. We've got some replacement handlebars, so we're just gonna unscrew this, move over the switch and everything onto the new one. And since it's not OEM, we're gonna do the same thing on this side just so that everything matches up and works the same. So these are the handlebars that we got. Like I said, these are not OEM, but they will fit on this bike. This should be a simple, easy swap. The only thing that we need to do is drill out some locating holes over here for the switches. Normally they've got like a locating pin where they just slot in so they don't move around. So we just need to drill those on these ones and we should be all good. In order to remove the handlebars, we need to take off the upper triple. So I'm gonna undo this bolt first. Then I'm gonna loosen the 2 bolts on each side and then completely remove the 2 bolts holding the handlebars onto the upper triple. Once those are off, we can knock out the upper triple off the forks and lay it to the side because the ignition is still connected. Now we can undo the handlebar screw to loosen it up and pull it off the fork. Time for the new handlebar to go on, and this just slides in place. We're going to lightly tighten up the handlebar bolts because we're still going to adjust the position a bit later. Now we can start moving over everything from the old handlebar onto the new one. We're taking off the switch first and it's only held on by 2 bolts. Then we can undo the bar end so we can slide the grip off and slide it onto the new handlebar. We didn't have anything to loop the grip with, so we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Then I'm going to use my finger to measure out how in or how out the handlebar is so we can match it out to the other side. Next up is the switch, and I'm putting some paint on the locating pin so we can mark out where we need to drill. Then I'm going to line it up and press it against the handlebar, and that should leave a nice mark for us to drill. Once we've got a mark on the handlebar, I'm going to use a small nail as a hole punch. This is just so the drill bit doesn't slide around when we start drilling. I'm starting with a smaller drill bit, then I'm going to move up to a bigger one that matches the size of the locating pin. Then we can finally place the switch on and start tightening it up with the 2 bolts that secure it in place. It seems like we're missing the pass button, but we'll get that a bit later. For now, the switch is on firmly. And then the last thing is to mount up the clutch lever, and we're all good on this side. Now we can move on to the right side. Everything is all good on this side, but we're just moving it over to the new handlebar just so that everything looks and feels the same. It probably would have been easier to get an OEM handlebar for the left side. That way we only need to worry about one side. But the nice thing with these aftermarket handlebars is that they've got a ton of adjustability, and that's what we want. We're taking off the last bits of the handlebar, then we can start undoing the handlebar from the fork. Once that's off, we can slide on the new handlebar and lightly tighten it up because we're still gonna move this one a bit later as well. Now we can start putting everything back on. The first thing to go on is the throttle along with all the cables. Next up is gonna be the brake lever along with the brake master cylinder. Then we can move on to the kill switch. This also has a locating pin, and you guessed it, we need to drill the handlebar. So we're gonna do what we did on the left side on the right side. Once that's all good, we can start mounting up the kill switch onto the handlebar. Once both handlebars are sorted, the upper triple can go back on. We made sure to line it up perfectly before we start tightening it up. Now we want to try and get the OEM spacing on the handlebars, so we're going to use the old ones as a reference so we can adjust these properly. And then while we're here, we're going to bend back the bracket for the brake reservoir just so it can also sit perfectly. And then lastly, we're going to put back the washer and bolt for the upper triple and torque it down to spec. Yeah. Both handlebars are on and everything is looking good. Well, except for these levers. We'll probably change them out a little bit later and maybe add some bar ends while we're at it. But now it's time to focus our attention on this cluster and try and sort it out. So if you remember in the previous video, we wired everything up, but this cluster wasn't coming on. All we got was this needle moving back and forth. Now we thought we might have a burnt fuse or maybe a loose connection, but everything checks out. So one thing I didn't mention to you guys in the previous video is that this cluster is actually not for this year model. It's actually for a 2009 to 2012 model, and our bike is a 2013 to 2018 model. Now we thought this cluster would work because the connectors over here look the same and the cluster kind of looks the same. The only difference is that on the new model, this face is black. Now, after doing a ton of research, we actually learned that although the connectors are the same, the wires are laid out differently. Now, our plan right now is to try and deepen these wires over here and try and match them up to this cluster. And hopefully after doing all of that, guys, we should have a functioning cluster. Hopefully. In order to remove the wires from the connector properly, I'm going to use this deepening tool. It basically goes in between the terminal and the retaining clip, holding the terminal onto the connector. And what I need to do is pull the retaining clip from the terminal using this tool. Right now, I'm only going to pull out the positive and the negative wire just so I can test if this cluster switches on. Then I'm going to connect the 2 wires to the correct pins on the back of the cluster. Now I can just hook up the battery and see if this works. Okay guys, so what's supposed to happen now is once I turn on the ignition with this wire, this cluster is supposed to come on, guys. Let's cross our fingers. Okay, here we go, guys. Got the first part connected. Now I'm gonna hook up this guy. Nothing. The backlight is on, but the cluster's not coming on, guys. I'm sure I connected these properly. At this point, I was double checking and making sure that I've got both wires in the correct pins, but everything seemed fine. Okay, let's try this again. Ignition is on. Still nothing. Whoa! 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 We've got power, guys. We've got power. I think the connectors are just loose. The wires, because they're not in the connector. But we've got this light here. It stopped now. There we go. And let me try moving these around again. There, guys. We've got the cluster is on, guys. Check that out. So the cluster is coming on. It's even telling us we've got low fuel, but obviously we haven't connected all of the wires here. But this thing is working now, guys. There we have it. Okay, so now all we need to do is hook up all these other wires. We take this out. Hook up all these other wires into the correct position, and we might just be in the clear, guys. Okay, guys, before I start deepening all of these wires and putting them in the correct spot, I wanna take out the ECU and send it off to a guy that's gonna eliminate the immobilizer, because I have a feeling this is gonna take me some time. So I want this to be gone in the meantime, so that by the time we are done and we're ready to test out that cluster, we can actually fire this bike up, guys. So let me take that ECU out, send it away, and then get busy with these wires. The ECU on this bike is located on the tail section. Now getting to it is a little bit finicky because there's a relay assembly sitting on top of it, and it's a tight squeeze. But once I figured out a way to get the connectors off, I can finally have the ECU out. Now we can focus on deepening all the wires for the cluster. The layout on this model versus the previous gen is completely different. For example, the positive wire on the 2013 model is on pin 13, while on the 2012 model, it's on pin 14. And that's the same for all the wires we need for this cluster to work properly. Now what makes things tricky for us is that some of the wires that are on the 2013 model are not on the 2013. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to make everything on this cluster function properly. But I'm sure we can make it work. Alrighty guys, we've got most of the wires depinned and repinned in the correct spot. We just have a few that we just need to figure out where they need to go, because this generation and the previous generation have some slight differences. So wires like these two, we need to figure out where we're gonna place them. But that shouldn't stop us from testing if what we've done so far is gonna make this guy work. So we've got it hooked up. All we need to do now is connect the battery, turn the ignition like we normally do now, and see if this thing switches on. Oh, and the ECU is back, by the way, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's test out this cluster. All right, battery is hooked up. The bro is setting up our magic wire, the ignition. Now we're gonna test this out. So we're gonna plug it on the, is it the negative, basically, and positive, and see if this thing switches on. Yeah! And it's staying on. Oh yeah, that's you. Oh, okay. It's staying on. Okay, the wires are still there. The cluster is staying on. So we're looking good, guys. So that issue we had before where it was switching off was just wires that were loose. Now that it's connected firmly, this thing is staying on, guys. So I'd say we are good for now with the cluster, because yeah, we need to do a lot of work trying to figure out what wire needs to go where. I think for now, guys, because we've got the ECU back, we are just dying to see if this thing fires up. The cluster is all good, we'll sort it out, but let's unwrap this thing, hook it up, and try to fire this bike up, guys. I'm really crossing fingers that this thing fires up. Yeah, there we go, guys. That's our flashed ECU. We're gonna plug this guy in and try and fire this bike up, guys. Let's go. What do you think is gonna happen?
This thing is gonna start, bro.
You think it's gonna start?
Definitely going to start.
Okay, he's setting up the key again. We've got our quick start or short start. We're gonna do what we did last time and dump it in the throttle bodies while we're cranking this thing, guys, and hopefully it starts. Cross your fingers right now, guys. Cross your fingers. We actually just picked up now that when we turn our key there, these guys are now opening. They never used to do that before. So just turn the key. So this is a very good sign, guys. This is a very good sign. We even have some of our things here working. I know we plugged in the neutral wire, and this guy, obviously we don't have a tank. So yeah, it's gonna flash like that. But we've got fuel, even though we don't have a tank. Let's go for this. Let's go for it. It sounded promising. Let's go again. Oh wait, I think I know why. Because we need to open the throttle so the fuel can go in. Let's go. It started up, guys. It started up. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go. The bike is running, guys. Guys. Okay, we need to open the garage door. But this thing is basically started, guys. That is a start. It didn't run, but it started. Woo!
You wanted to keep it running, guys.
I can't believe that worked, guys. Okay, so the flashed ECU is definitely working. We don't have any mobilizer fault. Guys, this is exciting. Let's go again. Bro's gonna go. I think he's getting excited now. Guys, this thing is basically running. I think yeah. What did you say? Would you say the bike is running? It just needs fuel to be delivered by the fuel tank. But this bike is running, guys. All right, guys, we've got the bike to start up a little bit, but we're not happy with that. We want to hear this thing run and idle. And unfortunately, we don't have a tank right now. So we've hooked up a contraption here. So we've basically got the fuel pump split up. We've wired it up, connected it, even the fuel line. And the plan is we're going to submerge this guy in a container of fuel just so that we've got consistent fuel delivery. So that's our container right there. I know a lot of you guys I know a lot of you guys are probably typing right now and saying, no, don't do that, it's not safe. We know, guys. That's why we've got this just in case. But hopefully nothing's gonna go wrong. Don't know if I should put it there. But yeah, we're literally just experimenting right now, guys. In theory, this should work. In practice, this might go kaboom. Hopefully not. Okay, we're gonna turn that key once more. The fuel pump should actually prime, and we should know whether this is working or not.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, definitely don't try this at home, guys. We've got that fuel pump submerged right now. We just need to turn the ignition, and we should basically hear that thing prime. I think let's go for it, guys. If you guys don't hear from us again, this was the last video. I don't know who's gonna upload it, but we need to give this a try, guys. We need to get this bike running. Okay. Woo! Okay.
Blew off.
Okay, guys, our hose here just blew off. Whew. Okay, that was a bit sketchy. Maybe let's move this a little bit, wipe everything up, and then we'll try again. All right, guys, we've modified our contraption, so hopefully we shouldn't have fuel just blowing out of that line there. Because, yeah, we can't secure it properly because, yeah, it's just a mess. But I think we've got it right now, but the bro's gonna hold it just to make sure. And yes, let's turn the bike on, guys. Okay, fuel pump. Oop, oop. We got some fuel squirting there.
It's primed. It has prime.
Okay, it's still on. It's primed. So we got fuel in the line.
Good terrain.
Okay. Let's go for it, guys. It's running, guys. It's running. Oh, the bike is running. This is working. Woo, okay, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up.
Take that one.
I can't believe this worked. I can't believe this worked, guys. Contraption, and we didn't blow up. We didn't need our fire extinguisher. So for anyone that was jumping to the comments, sometimes the risky stuff works, guys. Wow. Okay, the bike runs. Now we just need to get a tank, guys, to make this thing safe and make it work the way it's supposed to. But I'm just glad the bike is running. It sounds healthy. Obviously, we don't have a lot of stuff connected here on the airbox. There's an FI light that's on right now. But the most important thing is that the bike starts up and it runs, guys. All right, guys, there we have it. The ZX6 is starting, guys. It runs, even though we had to make a bit of a plan, but I think we're gonna sort that out in a later stage, guys. For now, we're just glad that the bike runs, guys. We didn't buy a lemon. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. If you enjoyed this video, guys, all that MacGyvery and all of that, hit a thumbs up, guys. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. All right, let's go for it. Whoa!